Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of August. I hope you're all keeping well. I'd like to thank those people who've jumped aboard the channel memberships that are now open. There's a join button underneath the video. You are very, very welcome. Very glad to have you here, and also to the lovely people who've joined me over at Patreon as well. Between the two sets of you, the vote of confidence is really quite humbling, and I thank you for it. Thank you. So, just give these another quick shuffle. I'll see what lies ahead for you, Pisces. Could I have 3 cards for Pisces, please? The first card is the 5 of Wands. That's in your recent energy. How many more cards? Current energy, please. Ooh. Got the Ace of Cups and the 6 of Wands there for you. Awesome. I like that. Towards Pisces in August, please. Got the 9 of Cups. That's beautiful. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the King of Swords, and I like that. That's it's a useful energy for you to have, and it's probably a useful energy that you have been employing. Actually, now I look at this, let me just work out which deck I'm going to use to clarify. I'm just going to go to standard Rider-Waite, apparently. So, let's just get these a little ruffle in here. This is lavender flower buds I'm burning in here, just in case you are interested. It's very peaceful in here right now. So, we have, ooh, what is this? Yeah, we've got the 5 of Cups and the Page of Wands, clarifying the 5 of Wands. I actually really like that. Right, bear with me and I explain why. We've got the 6 of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Ooh. The Knight of Cups just gamboled into my lap there. About 6 of Wands and the Ace of Cups. And the 9 of Pentacles, beautiful. And the 9 of Cups, please. Why is that here? Ooh, got the 4 of Swords in reverse. And the Ace of Cups, right? Stunning. Okay, at the bottom of the deck we've got the Hermit with the Ace of Wands, right? What an intriguing mix of cards. I love it. All right, so the first card that you've got in your recent energy is the 5 of Wands. Now this is a card of Leo and it talks about conflict, right? There's that fucking Leo energy there again. That proper stalks your readings around. And I'm sure it's not just because I'm doing your readings and I'm a Leo. Conflict. You know, it can be anything from petty squabbles right up to, you know, really serious fallings out with people. And in fact, if you see it with the devil, then quite often that can indicate domestic abuse and stuff like that, right? Kind of dark stuff. But it doesn't feel like it's being quite so dark for you. That doesn't feel like that what this is at all. I do feel like it's other people. And I do feel like it's them bringing conflict to you rather than you actively going out and seeking it, right? And it's clarified by the 5 of Cups and the Page of Wands. And the first thing that's come into my head as I'm looking at this is that you are gaining a new understanding of other people's issues, other people's projections, right? It seems like there is, or there has been for you, an element of conflict in your life that has kind of been sort of created by other people as a result of their guilt about things, their shame about things, you know? It feels like your energy here is the Page of Swords, like you're getting ready to move off. into something new, right? You've got a new way of thinking about things, new things that you want to bring into your life, but you're just kind of looking back here, and it's allowed you to work out what all of this was. Like, you kind of see it for what it is and for what it was, where it comes from, and it's not yours. That's the thing, right? It might have been brought to your door, it may have been inflicted upon you, but ultimately the guilt and the resentment and the shame, the regret, like, you're looking directly at it, you can see it, but you're not going to let it hold you back, right? There's a tremendous lightness of spirit here for you. This fits in very nicely with the King of Swords and the Hermit that we've got here. Right? In fact, the Ace of Wands as well. You know, as they would sit on my table, like, the past is the left-hand side and the future is the right-hand side. And notice how these two are kind of contemplating the past. It's like you've gone within, you found the answers to things. You see everything very clearly now, but it's not going to stop you from moving forwards. It's not going to stop what you've got coming towards you happening. I've just noticed underneath here, the Ten of Swords is underneath the King there. Like, all of this is drawing to an end now because you've got this insight that you didn't have before. And there you are, the High Priestess underneath that Ten of Swords. Like, you see all of this now, and you see how actually none of it was really down to you at all. This is other people's issue with you, right? And I feel like, because you are stepping into your authenticity, you're stepping into who you are fully, right? Embracing a new start and embracing the full magnitude of the power that is the sign of Pisces. So this will cease to touch you in the way that it has done before, right? This is real progression. This is you really moving on from a situation. There's an acceptance, there's forgiveness, and there's release, and you're off. You're gone, right? The only looking back that you're doing here is just to check that you fully understand the situation, and you do. So in your current energy, what we've got is the Six of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Now, Six of Wands, another card of Leo, right? Card of victory. And this Ace of Cups, so obviously it's your ace. It can speak about new love. It can speak of new love for someone, or something, yourself, or a renewal of any of those things. And it feels like at this point in your current energy, this is very much referring to you, right? This is just to you. You have really come on recently. Like, you know who you are. You have forgiven yourself, but you've forgiven a lot of people around you who have done you wrong in some way. You don't see the value of holding on to this any longer, because ultimately you're aware that this just holds you back, right? It makes no difference to them either way, whether you hate them or not, you know, whether you forgive them or not, because it's not for them, it's for you. So you've forgiven them in order to let that go, right? Let it be free. And you've very much got your eye towards the future and what new things there are for you moving forward. I can't get over how light the energy is in here right now. It feels like you have been liberated from something, right? You've slipped your leash, and you are now free to float. And free to express yourself in the most Piscean way possible, which is to extend that love and forgiveness to other people, but whilst also keeping yourself safe. The two cards that we've got underneath here, the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles, speak to that here. The Nine of Pentacles, all nines are about you. They're about the individual, right? So this is you in your material state. Now we know that that's not a comfortable place for Pisces, right? You do kind of want to drift and you know, be ethereal, but for whatever reason you've chosen to be here, and you've chosen to occupy this slow, dense vibration of matter, of atoms that makes, you know, this. And actually that feels all right. It feels okay to you. Like, there's a level of comfort coming of you being in your own skin, being in skin at all, that is quite new, for you at least. And you are allowing yourself to be the truest version of yourself whilst you are in this meat sack. Basically, you're leading with the heart, you're leading with your cup there. That's the Ace of Cups. It's kind of like you're forgiving everyone, right? If there's anyone ever who's ever done you wrong in your life, you're just like, right, it's okay. No, not that it's okay. I forgive you, but I'm moving on. You know, notice how this knight, right? He's plodding forwards, right? It's been all like, we're going this way. You're forgiven. Kind of shouting back over your shoulder, you're forgiven, but I'm going to keep going. Let's see if the Triple Goddess has got anything else to say about this. Wonderful. At the bottom of the deck here, we've got the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. This is you creating a new foundation for yourself, and it is you creating it for yourself. This doesn't really involve anybody else at this point. The card that came out to clarify is the High Priestess. God, I love this card so much. Look at that. Right? You found yourself, Pisces. You're not knocked by anything outside of you now, you know. You've really struggled at points this year, and for a long time actually. And part of this was because you couldn't quite work out where you ended and other people began. So you've gone around and like a sponge soaked up everybody else's projections, everybody else's guilt, everybody else's negative issues, right? All there. You sucked it all up, and you were made to feel like it was you that was the cause of it all, and actually you really weren't. But what you can do is now purge yourself of it, and that feels like that's exactly what you're doing. Purging and becoming fully like Piscean High Priestess. There's a level of detachment and a level of connection implied by both of these. Right? It's a very passive card, the High Priestess. Only actually superseded by the Hanged Man, which is also a card of Pisces for me. Right? This is about knowing, this is about trust, this is about intuition, this is about you trusting yourself and your intuition, because you finally worked out who you are. You finally worked out how to separate yourself from everybody else so that you can see you and you alone. And in doing that, you've been able to see how everybody else has kind of just thrown their stuff at you, and you've just sucked it all up. Things are changing, Pisces, in a really incredible way. What's coming towards you for the month of August is the Nine of Cups. I really like this, right? And remember how I said all the nines dealt with the individual? Well, this card talks on an awful lot of levels about you as an individual, right? I love the imagery on this. Check that out. Look at that. The Nine of Cups is about what makes you happy. The Nine of Cups is about how you make yourself happy. It's about how you deal with your own emotional states, and it's how you stay strong in dealing only with your own emotions first and everybody else's after, right? It's about knowing what you want and pulling it towards you, because you're vibrating at such a high frequency at the moment, right? The only card that you've got after the Nine of Cups is the 10. And this is the 10, for me, is when two people who are in this state kind of together, right, to make something even bigger, even more beautiful between them. It's sometimes called the wish card, right? But for me, it feels like, honestly, with this level of liberation that you're experiencing at the moment, with this sense of self and with this authenticity and the knowing that you are an autonomous being who is able to dictate, you know, not dictate, like ask nicely of the universe to take you where you need to go. Like, this is kind of a card of bringing all of the good stuff, all of the stuff that you want towards you. No? So in some ways it's kind of the pinnacle of the cups suit. The two clarifiers are really interesting because we've got the Four of Swords in reverse and the Ace of Cups again, right? And this is quite interesting because this is a card of being detached, right? It's pulling away from things and thinking about them very objectively and logically. It's rest, it's recovery, it's recuperation, right? Pulling back so that you can recover from whatever it is that you've been experiencing. When it comes out in the reverse, it's coming out of that energy, right? You have been detached from things for quite a long time, but you were detached for a purpose. It was so that you could identify yourself, right? In this heaving mass of energy that is, you know, everybody that you usually spend time around, where you yourself get lost in the midst of it all, right? Because you've spent that time detached, getting to know yourself, pulling back. Now you are able to start moving forwards, right? Because you know who you are. And then we've got this Ace of Cups, right? Just as we had the Ace of Cups here. Now that Ace of Cups felt very much about you and your attitude, not just to you, but everybody else in the world. I'm quite intrigued to see it come out again. And I'm going to pull another card or two for it before I speak any more. Tell me about the Ace of Cups, please. Hanged Man just tried to jump out there. Tell me about the Ace of Cups. I think it's that deck that wants to be used. Let's move to the Lost Forest, because that's a very you deck. I like the energy of this one too. Tell me about the Ace of Cups for Pisces, please. Right, we've got the Ace of Wands again at the bottom of the deck, and the cards that have jumped out are the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, the Magician and the Sun. This is really intriguing because that's Leo energy again. What the fuck? I don't understand this. Maybe you've got your moon or your rising sign in Leo, possibly, but I don't think I've done a single reading for you since Christmas that didn't have a Leo card come out somewhere in it. And if it is your rising sign, then maybe this is just the change in the way that you're showing up in the world. You know, that's possible. But what we've got here is the Seven of Pentacles, which for me talks about that way, being unhappy with your life, with your circumstances, kind of working out what it is that needs to change in order that you can be happy. Coming out this way around, it talks about making those changes, right? Actioning those changes, no longer being dissatisfied because you are in charge of everything. You're taking responsibility for your own life and how it moves forward, and you're bringing all the changes to yourself. And holy fuck, you've got the Magician and the Sun to guide you on the way, right? The Magician is the card of manifestation in the 3D. And remember how I said I felt from the Nine of Pentacles that you were finally starting to get comfortable in your own skin. You were starting to get comfortable as a 3D being instead of a 5D being, which is, you know, where you would usually be. There's a certain level of homesickness. You know, in Pisces, I think, you know, you're too ethereal to be stuck in here for too long, except that it's almost like you've kind of had a chat with yourself and you said, right, well, I've chosen to be here. I've chosen to take this form for this period of time. How about we make the most of it? What shall we do? Kind of like working together with your meat suit to make things happen. And here it is. It's so powerful, your energy at the moment. You can literally bring anything towards you that you would like. We've got the Sun. Now this is, like I said, it's the card of Leo, and it is the most positive card in the deck. It's the one that you definitely want to see as an outcome, for sure. But it's also a card of the conscious, right? And consciousness for me. I think part of you understanding now who you are and who you are not, bringing all of that into you, I think it's focused your power. It's made you very conscious of it, brought it to a point where you can kind of discharge it out in any way that you want. The way that you want is apparently with the Ace of Cups. Right? You are definitely going out into the world with this kind of attitude. But if you do that, you are almost certain to bring someone towards you that is resonating at a similar frequency. Now, I'm not seeing any other cards that are indicating a new relationship apart from the Ace of Wands, which has come up twice. Ace of Wands and Ace of Cups together could well be a new relationship, but I'm going to kind of be hesitant about predicting that too much because there isn't anything else. There's no Six of Cups, there's no Two of Cups, anything like that. What there are two cards of nines, you know, of you being comfortable with yourself and your emotions and all that sort of thing. But definitely something new coming in. And these might just be new friendships, you know, these might be co-workers that you meet, that you hit it off with really strong, that end up bringing some value to your life in that way. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, but it does feel like things are changing for you, Pisces. Like, there's quite a grounded energy right the way through this reading here for you. That is something that you've struggled with for a while. It looks like you just kind of got it, like the penny has dropped and you understand now. So I'm going to go over to Vimeo now and kind of explore this a little bit further. If you want to come and join me over there, I'll be delighted to see you. If not, no shade, that's fine. I will be back in about 10 days for the mid-month readings. So take care and I'll see you soon.